Hi, I'm Rilus. Today we're talking about the Dynasty Trust. What is a Dynasty Trust? It's a way to add protection to your beneficiaries. It's a way to protect them from estate taxes and from creditors. What is a creditor? Well, one of the most common is a divorcing spouse, or a car accident could create a liability where someone comes after your money. So in order to protect your children's inheritance in their future, we like to wrap that up in a subtrust. Here's how it works. So Mr. and Mrs. Estate, their plan creates a dynasty trust for their 3 children. So the trustee will be appointed. They'll create 3 separate dynasty trusts for each of the beneficiaries, and the trustee there's 3 trustee hats showing that the trustee is managing each of the separate trusts. Now, a very common dynasty trust that we do is we give the children the power to become their own trustee at the age of 35 or some other age that the client picks. So we hold trust for them, or we hold their share for them inside of a trust. It'll be managed by another person. Now, the distributions from the trust are at the discretion of the trustee. What this means is that if the beneficiary is in any type of trouble, meaning if they were to receive money, if there's a creditor that can attach that money, like if they were in the middle of a bankruptcy or something like that, then the trustee would not distribute money to them, which would go straight to their creditors. Now, these dynasty trusts, we've been helping clients for years do these types of plans, and I've given good news and bad news over the years to a phone call like this. So I get a call from someone and they say, "Hey Rilus," usually they're in a panic. Okay, let's start with a better voice actor. Okay, panic voice. "Hey Rilus, bad situation here. Parents passed away, and to make it worse, I'm in the middle of a bankruptcy. I wasn't planning on mom and dad passing away. I was reorganizing in a bankruptcy. So now what happens to my inheritance? Do I have to report that to the bankruptcy court?" Now, my heart's racing as I go to the computer and pull up their documents and see what type of plan the parents created. Now, I've given good news when I've seen a dynasty trust like this. I breathe a sigh of relief and I go, "Oh my gosh, good news. The plan created by your parents transfers everything into a dynasty trust for your benefit. So the money is not going to be directly distributed to you. So you can report to your bankruptcy trustee, but these monies, you're not entitled to them at this point. It's at the trustee discretion." So that provides protection. Now, same phone call I've received, same panic person, I'm in the middle of a bankruptcy, or maybe it's a lawsuit, just whatever type of lawsuit, car accident, and then their parents pass away. Same scenario, entitled to money. Oh my gosh, what happens? Do I have to report it to the creditors? Now, same thing, I pull up the documents, and as I'm reading through, if I just see an age restriction trust that says, outright at age 21, I go, uh-oh, you are entitled to all of this money right now. The trust is saying distribute everything to you right now. So that's what you need to tell the bankruptcy court, or that's what you tell your lawyer regarding that lawsuit. So that's not good news. So the Dynasty Trust, it's a part of, it's an asset protection tool. Now, the way I like to describe asset protection, I ask people if they've seen the movie Fight Club. And sometimes it goes better when they have seen the movie, and sometimes they think I'm crazy when they don't know what I'm talking about. But the first rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about it. Same thing with asset protection. There's no such thing as real asset protection. That goes against public policy. If someone comes to me and says, "Rilus, help me put my money in a place where people can't reach it if I owe them," that goes against public policy. But it is acceptable to do tax planning. Tax planning is perfectly acceptable. So a dynasty trust, it's an estate tax planning tool. It's a tool to avoid and minimize estate taxes. Currently, the exemption against the estate tax is $10 million. What that means is it doesn't apply unless you have more than $10 million. Now, even though there's not many people affected by the estate tax right now, I still recommend Dynasty Trust for beneficiaries when their single share is going to be more than $500,000. Also, because we don't know what the future holds with our politics. If Washington swings back to the left, it's possible we could have an estate tax again. So the Dynasty Trust, even if the estate tax does come back, once the money is inside of a Dynasty Trust, it's not subject to the estate tax on the death of the child or for the future generations. So the technical name of a Dynasty Trust, it's called a generation skipping transfer, is what the tax name is. So we use the generation skipping transfer tax. There's exclusions and limits. That's why the Dynasty Trust, it adds several pages, several clauses, because we have to allocate for those different formulas. But going through this scenario, so the 3 kids, ages 33, 21, and 18, so they each end up with a bank account and their share of the investments from the estate. So when the oldest is 35, he becomes a trustee of his trust, and the same thing for the other beneficiaries. They're able to eventually take over their Dynasty Trust. So a lot of times people will ask me, I get the question, people say, do I want a trust or a will? Or they say, do I want a revocable or do I want an irrevocable trust? What you want is you want someone to create an irrevocable Dynasty Trust for you. So you want your parents to create this for you. That gives you maximum protection. If your parents create a Dynasty Trust for you, you can be in charge of it as a trustee and manage it, and it's outside of your estate, which means it's out of reach from any potential creditors, and it's out of reach from the estate tax system. So it won't be subject to the estate tax again. So that allows you to have your cake and eat it too. Maximum protection, maximum control. The magic of this is it's got to be created by your parents. It's got to be created by someone for you. That's what allows you to give the maximum flexibility and control. So another thing I've been helping people do is after their parents passed away, the trust becomes irrevocable. There's ways where we can add Dynasty Trust, where we can do what's called decanting, where if mom and dad's plan didn't include a Dynasty Trust, there may be a way where we can still add it in there. So Dynasty Trust is a great way to go to protect yourselves. So talk to your parents, see if they have this in their plan for you, or this is the legacy that you want to create for your family. Give us a call today to schedule your personal family legal session, and we can explain more how a Dynasty Trust would benefit you.